channel. My name is Casey if you don't know me. I typically use this channel for just making videos, updating my friends who live in Korea, but I figured this year why not use it and have a little fun with it, because why not? Everyone's still kind of stuck inside, and I have two young daughters. They're both under 2 still, and so we're not really going out and doing much. So I figured what better to do than start a new hobby. So I thought it would be kind of interesting today because I am 24 years old. I had my first daughter whenever I was 22, right? Was I 22? Sorry, brain fart. I had my oldest daughter whenever I was 22, so I've been really experiencing a lot of differences, I think, in my experience of becoming a mother than somebody who might be a little more older or maybe a little more like experienced, maybe a little more mature than I might have had. So I thought it might be fun just to do a little video talking about like the things that I find to be really difficult and the things that I've struggled with having children so young, and like coming into that role of motherhood and really adjusting to like this new me and this entire new role that I've taken on in somebody else's life. This is by no means me saying like, oh, I wish I didn't have kids yet, or like I wish I would have like waited or whatever, because I don't. I absolutely think that my kids were very much planned by God to be given to me at the time that they were, and this is God's plan for our family, and I'm very grateful that I have them, that I had them when I did, that everything has worked out the way that it has. I 100% am happy. But that's not to say that it's not hard, right? So I just thought I might want to talk about some of the parts that were a little more difficult. So I figured I'd start off with the most obvious probably, and that is just that it's stressful and the lack of sleep certainly doesn't help. And I will say that I've been very lucky because my kids have for some reason just been incredible sleepers. Elena actually, the first night we brought her home from the hospital, slept all night. I woke up like in a panic, like freaking out, because like I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, she didn't wake up once last night. So she has always been a great sleeper. Evelyn she was a lot harder when we brought her home, but as she got older, I think it was around 3 months, like she was sleeping through the night every night. So I've been really lucky in that regard. I know that a lot of people have babies that really don't sleep through the night for a long time. But Evelyn has been very good. I think she's very independent. She's like very easy to like, I don't know, she will entertain herself. And it wasn't until that both girls got to be around like the 7-month age that we started letting them like cry a little bit longer at night, and they would really calm down after we did that a few times. Like it was incredibly easy to put them to sleep and know that they were going to like soothe themselves and put themselves to sleep after doing that a few times. Well, hello, Axel. Um, but yeah, the lack of sleep in the beginning definitely makes it hard. It makes it stressful. I get very cranky if I don't get sleep. I can be very mean, so pray for my husband. So sorry. And I mean, just the overall stress of it. You're literally keeping another human alive. And for most, I mean, everyone starts somewhere with their parenting. Everyone's a first-time parent at some point, and everyone has to learn at some point. Nobody just like knows everything about babies or how to take care of babies. Everybody has to learn. And I think sometimes people take it at different paces, and some people pick it up really easy and really fast, and some people just take their time learning and adjusting, and it can be a lot to adjust to because all of a sudden there's all these new responsibilities thrown at you that you literally have to learn or someone dies. So it can be a lot of stress. It can cause a lot of worry. But if you're expecting your first, don't worry. You got it. So the second thing that I would say has been difficult is just, in general, dealing with very judgmental people. I've had a few comments from people that I went to school with because I was in school whenever I found out I was pregnant. Just make kind of off-the-wall comments about their opinion of my situation or what I'm choosing to do. And that is normal. Everyone is always going to have an opinion, I think, and it doesn't really affect me that much. But I mean, to say that people saying hurtful things doesn't ever hurt my feelings is not true. I definitely think that I obviously want people to be happy for me. I want people to, be supportive. I don't want people, thinking all these negative things or saying negative things about my kids. Like, that's, like, a big deal. But people are just going to have their opinions. There's going to be very judgmental people who are like, you're way too young, or even people who are 30, they're like, their friends are telling them they're too young, or then their doctor's like, you're too old, and, like, there's never really a right time, I don't think. Just do what you want and what makes you happy, because people are always going to have something to say about it, and anything anyone else says about my family does not really affect my family, because they're not the ones here taking care of my family, so just keep that in mind if you are somebody that is very nervous to talk about it or talk about the family that you want. I get a lot of looks whenever I tell people, like, yeah, I don't intend on not having kids. Like, I would like to have as big of a family as I can, and that gets me a lot of looks. And you know what? That's okay. That's fine, because it's my family, not theirs, so it's okay. But just, be aware of that and make sure that you have supportive people around you that can keep you grounded, and make sure that you are just feeling loved. Another issue that was really hard for me at the beginning was really feeling like I was missing out on a lot. And obviously, because of my age, a lot of my friends are doing, going to bars, going to parties, or, even just, like, going on fun trips. They can go on road trips. They can go, if they want to go on a vacation to Vegas one weekend for fun, then they can, And I can't necessarily do that. Like, I can't just, like, pack up myself and kids and husband and just go, So, like, in that sense, it was hard for me, feeling like I was missing out on a lot of that. It was also hard because after having kids, I feel like a lot of friends kind of just faded off. Like, they didn't really ever care to invite me around to anything or really ask about the kids or, like, how I was or if I needed anything or, like, come visit. Like, there were a lot of people, I think, that just really were very absorbed in, like, what they were doing, and they just didn't really, I guess, consider me, and I think that's okay. Maybe it's just being in a different life stage than some other people my age. Obviously, it's a lot different worrying about, your job and where you're going out Thursday night versus, like, changing diapers and paying bills. So I can definitely understand that maybe it's just different life stages, and, like, maybe we'll come back together at a later point whenever we're feeling a little more, I don't know, compatible, or maybe have more in common. I don't know. But that was kind of hard for me too, just having a lot of friends kind of drop off and just kind of have to watch them go do their own thing, and that was kind of hard. But also understanding that, like, there's going to be a lot of time for me to do that also. This is not obviously all the time that I have in my life, so there's going to be so much time in the future, and I'll get to do it with my husband, I'll get to do it with my kids whenever they're older, if we all want to go on, like, some big extravagant cruise or, like, an awesome vacation to Hawaii, then, like, that's what we're going to do, and it's going to be fun because my kids are going to be there, and I think it's going to be way better because I'll be making memories with them, and you just have to kind of think of everything in a bigger picture kind of way, because, like, it can all seem so overwhelming, and, like, this is all there is right now is, like, the stress and the diapers and everything going on, and that's not really always the case. So it's good to always make sure you're keeping the big picture in your mind and not worrying about feeling so left out in the beginning, because you're going to have so much time to do so much, especially with your kids later. This definitely doesn't matter depending on age, but it can be very difficult finding, like, time for you to actually do things that you want to do and things that you enjoy. And I've been very lucky in having a lot of help from my friends helping watch the girls, or my husband's parents will watch them. So, like, finding time to do things like read or paint a picture or, like, go do something fun with my friends. Like, if I want to go shopping with my grandma, or, if I just want to go to church one day without screaming kids in the pew next to me, like, some days it's just nice having a little bit of help to be able to spend that time really giving it to yourself and doing something that you enjoy by yourself. Everybody needs a break every once in a while. You're not a bad parent if you feel like you need a break. It's very normal. It's such a normal reaction to just feel overwhelmed and just want space, want a break, want your own thing. Because it's like right now, everything I do is about my kids. Everything I do is about my husband. Everything I do is about the house. Everything I do is about, somebody else. And it's just good to do something that's just for me and it feels good, you know? So definitely keep that in mind, and you really need to make that a priority to schedule in that time for you and also for your spouse. Um, Spending time with your spouse and you, like just the two of you, is incredibly important. And that actually leads me into my next point, which is that having kids young really kind of put a lot of stress on me and my husband's marriage. Just, I think, because we are so young, we're so new at married life. We were only married for like 4 months or something whenever Evelyn was born, and it can just be difficult. Married life takes an adjustment too. I don't think people take the time really to talk about it or adjust to it. But you are learning how to like really live a new like lifestyle with somebody else, and you are trying to adjust and come together to work on it together, and communication gets in the way. I mean, you have to learn how to work together on things that maybe previously you never had to consider working with somebody else about, you know, like for me it's very hard sometimes letting my husband take over doing stuff around the house or like handling like bills and stuff, because I'm like, well, I've always been in charge of that with my own stuff, so like I want to keep doing it. But whenever you're married, some of those things might change, so like that communication has to like grow and evolve as the two of you grow and evolve. And then throwing a screaming baby and lack of sleep and you know, just overwhelming stress into that mix can be really hard. But the thing that really helps is actually making sure that you are prioritizing that like date time or just time together. Like me and my husband, we just stay up after the girls go to bed. We'll talk, we'll just watch a show, we'll watch a movie. We really like to get sushi, we get ice cream, and we just like to hang out. And that is time that I think is never wasted. It's always well spent. You know, really getting to know your spouse, even though, you know, you're married, you still need to be dating, you still need to be diving deeper into your relationship, and I think getting to know each other better and like falling in love all the time. Well, I really think that that's just about everything that I can think of that has been on my mind, that has been kind of difficult having kids so young. But if you are expecting your first baby, or maybe your third or your fifth, who knows, don't let any of this like stop you or deter you. Having a family is a beautiful thing, and just, you know, just take everything easy, take it slow, don't be so hard on yourself. Everybody deserves a little bit of grace. That's really all the things that I can think of. Leave in the comments if you can think of anything, or if you have any other experience or tips that you want to share. But other than that, thank you for watching this video.